you want to share some of this with us by reading maybe an excerpt?
Sure.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, happy to do that. This is going to be a little bit of a balancing act, but I think I can do this.
Are you reading chapter 1?
I'm reading actually the prologue.
Okay.
Yes. Mhm. If Jack's own father had provided him with a little visibility and exposure to life as he grew up, Jack would have thrived on it. Jack came to realize that his dad just didn't have what was needed to be a real father. I found out where your dad is working. I'm sure he'd love to see you. Jack's mother's comments caught him completely by surprise. Jack was 8 years old when his mother and father separated and divorced. The fact that his father wasn't coming home anymore affected Jack deeply. In their home, the living room windows faced the street. For several weeks after his father left, Jack would stand in the window every evening looking out and waiting for his father to come home. So when Jack's mother told him and his 3 sisters that they could go and see their dad, he was elated. Looking back, he was more affected by the divorce and not seeing his father than his sisters. Also, for some reason, Jack thought he had done something to cause the breakup. No one ever told him that, but he still struggled. Jack needed the protection and the security of his father. He wanted him to guide him through life and introduce him to the things all of his neighbor buddies experienced. Jack hoped that his father would teach him how to hit a baseball, ride a bike, swim, or make a snowman in the winter. Can we go see him today? Jack asked his mother. No, I'll set it up with your dad, and then you and your sisters are free to go see him. It was a cold, snowy winter day. The snow had been falling for 2 days. It was the kind of snow that would be great for making a snowball fight, or making a snowman. None of that mattered to Jack. He just wanted to see his dad. So off they went, Jack and his sisters. His 2 older sisters, 12 and 13, were given instructions by Jack's mother on where they were to go and how to get there. It must have been a 15-minute bus ride, but he felt like hours to Jack. As they got off the bus and walked to his dad's office, all Jack could think of was seeing his dad and asking him when he was coming back home. Hey, it's great to see you kids. How are you? How are you doing? Did you have lunch? Jack's dad was so happy to see them. He introduced them to all of his co-workers, and he was beaming. These are my 3 daughters, and this is my son Jack, he said. I had to name him after myself. Jack was so proud, he felt like the son of a president. His dad made Jack feel great. After all the introductions, he sat down with them in a conference room and talked to them for a while. How's school? Are you getting enough to eat? What about your homework? Are you getting to bed on time? Jack was so attentive to them. Their time with him was rapidly coming to an end. He had to go back to work. Jack had been saving his question. He felt like he needed to ask it now. So when will we see you again? When will you be coming home? Jack blurted out. Jack's dad didn't answer for a long time. He just looked away. Then finally he said, look, I have to go back to work. Why don't you come over to the place where I'm living and we can sit and talk for a much longer time? Jack thought about it for a minute. Then he said, okay, and then will you tell us when you're coming back home? Jack's dad looked away again and he answered, sure, we can talk about it then. He wrote down the address and the phone number for them, and they agreed on the time to show up at his home on the upcoming Sunday right after church. Before they left, he hugged them, each of them. He waited to hug Jack last. Looking back, Jack sensed something in his hug that he didn't quite understand until much later.